So most of us at some point in our life have prayed for the Lord to prove something to us. Like, Lord, if this is you, prove it. Lord, prove that. Maybe we've even asked God or wondered why God didn't answer our prayer. Lord, I asked you for this. I called on you for this. What happened? Or maybe you've experienced something and you say, Lord, where were you when this happened to me? A lot of times we get criticized for having those questions. It's important that we do go to God. I want to tell you that if you've had those kind of questions, it don't mean you don't have faith. It doesn't mean you're not a believer. We are all human. Look, today, oh, my bad. What's going on, Kingdom Teens? How y'all doing, man? I'm missing y'all on this morning. Look, I'm up here on the screen. Good morning, man. I hope y'all have had some prayer by now, that maybe there's some praise and worship that has taken place so far. I'm about to get on the road and everything. I'm missing you guys. I do have a message for you guys on this morning. Tell me this. We're gonna start off like this. Tell me this. And look, we're gonna try to get through this fast. We ain't gonna rush through it. We're gonna try to get through this and everything. I know, because I already know y'all. Some of y'all talking right now, probably. Y'all probably talking right now, whispering and everything. But hold on. We gonna have a little discussion. Let's learn a little bit. Try to get connected. Try to get closer with God real quick. And then look, it ain't gonna take long. Y'all hold your horses. I'll hold your horses. We got a little lesson today. Tell me, which is harder? Waiting, trusting, or not knowing? Look, a lot of times we get them all at one time, man. Some people just do not want to wait. Gotta have it right away. Don't want to take the long route. You want to take the shortest route possible. I think about sometimes some of the food we eat, stuff that's in the freezer. It's really like two options. We can preheat the oven, or we can pop that thing in the microwave. How many of y'all? I'm putting it in the microwave, man. I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. It tastes a lot better when it's in the oven. Let's be real. Let's be honest. When it get that little crisp edge on it. Now we got air fryers and stuff like that. Put my nuggets in the air fryer, baby. Put my nuggets in the air fryer. Waiting. Some people struggle with waiting. Some people want to rush things. Some people want things right away. And then some people have trust issues. That I'm willing to wait. I want the security in knowing that you're going to come through. I want security in knowing that what has been promised is going to be fulfilled. Do y'all struggle with trust even as teens, or y'all just go with it? Right? Y'all struggle with waiting? How about not knowing? Not only insecurity, but that anxiety that comes with just not knowing. Sometimes just not knowing can put you into fear. The fear of the unknown. That I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm worried sick of it. Well, listen, you're not the first one to deal with this. You're not the first one to experience these feelings. I promise you. I myself feel them. I myself have felt these feelings. And maybe you felt that the first day of school, or starting a new school, going to a place you've never been before, wanting a gift. It takes a little bit longer than you thought to get there. I'm going to tell you that as you grow up and as you mature, there's going to be many ways that God answers your prayers. He doesn't answer them the way you expect him to. Bible story, a real quick Bible story. There's a guy in the Bible named Naaman. There's a guy in the Bible named Naaman. And Naaman is the stand-up guy. He's just a stand-up guy. He's a captain over the army. He's successful. He's wealthy. He's got the drip. He's got the following. He's popular, charismatic, just the go-to guy. Those type of people, sometimes they're the athlete, the high school quarterback. They're the really loved, the really talented, really skilled individuals, man. Naaman was the man. He is the go-to guy. So he's the go-to guy. He can do great things. He's got a title. He's the commander of the army. Naaman has an issue that nobody knows about. How many times do we not necessarily pretend? How many times are we dealing with things that no one knows about? all the time. So Naaman has a disease. He's got a sickness. Naaman is a leper. So leprosy in the Bible is a skin condition. And when they found out that you had leprosy and you had this skin condition, it was very, very contagious. They would push you away into a whole sect of society on your own. Like all the lepers were gathered together in one place. It was kind of like you was pushed away and you was outcast. I'm going to tell you that society, that people, that the world will try to box you in and put you away and label you based off of your issues, based off of your problems, based off of your struggles, based off of the things that sometimes we try to hide. Naaman was a leper. Here it is. He's a great leader and a mighty man. God allows for this condition to come upon him. So he gets word though about our God and his prophets and the things that he can do. He gets word about our God, his prophets. He takes a trip. He takes a trip to where the prophet is, okay? He takes a trip to the preacher's house. He goes to the preacher's house. He's looking to be healed from this leprosy. You know, he goes, the preacher doesn't answer him the way he expected to. He tells him, what the preacher tells him, I want you to go out there in this creek. I want you to go out here to the creek or to the Jordan River. I want you to go out to the creek and wash yourself in the creek. The guy's like, you want me to go out there in that dirty water to be cleaned? He says, let's like go out there. He says, and maybe he was thinking the preacher wasn't taking him serious. Maybe the preacher didn't know who he was or how desperate he was. Maybe he was playing games. The preacher was hearing from God. He knew. He said, just go out there into the water. So Naaman gets frustrated because he feels like he has traveled and came a long way. All for him to say, go out there in this. The Jordan River was kind of muddy, kind of murky. He says, you want me to go out there in this dirty water? That's what you're telling me to do. He said, man, you know how many rivers I passed on my way here? You know, I mean, there's plenty of streams in the city where I come from. He says, I didn't come to play games. So the preacher says this. He says, if I had asked you to do something grand, something great, something difficult, you would be more willing to do something difficult. I'm asking you to do something very simple and you don't want to do it. It kind of clicks with Naaman. He goes out into the water. He does what the preacher says. The Bible says that his skin was made new, just like a baby, brand new skin. Healed him of his leprosy. The whole point of the story is so often we want to control how God answers our prayers. We want to control how God fixes our issues. We want to control how God solves our problems. We want to be in control of those things. I'm going to tell you that most of the time you are not going to be in control. Listen, I want to tell you, just because God doesn't answer the way that you want him to doesn't mean that he's not answering. Oftentimes his ways, or all the time, his ways are above ours. There are things that God knows about your future that you don't. So there are ways that God can prepare you that you can't prepare yourself for. So that's my encouragement for you. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. I'm gonna give you 3 points. 3 points. First point, God's plan. That God had a plan the whole time. Even though Naaman didn't see it, didn't know it, didn't really understand it, it didn't mean that God didn't have one. God's plan had him being a winner overall. You're going to experience some things. You're going to go through some things that maybe in the moment you don't understand, that's uncomfortable, that's challenging, that's difficult. Learn how to trust God's plan. Then the process. So really what Naaman has to go out and do, he has to go out and dip in the water like 7 times. and it didn't make sense to him. Why do I have to go through all this extra stuff? Let me tell you, God has a process. The first P is plan. Second P is process. God's process. Learn how to trust God's process. Sometimes those processes can be strenuous. Sometimes it takes discipline. It takes practice. It might take some repetition of doing some things over and over again. It's going to take your dedication and your commitment. Trust the process. Know that what you're going through, sometimes it might even hurt. It might make you uncomfortable. Trust God's process. Trust his process. Lastly, God's proof. So we got plan, process, and proof. Y'all say it with me. Plan, process, and proof. God's plan, God's process, and God's proof. When God does something great for you, especially when he does it in a way you don't understand, it's important that you learn how to trust the proof, because as you add up all the evidence and all of the things, the many ways that God is going to make for you, I'm telling you, they're going to come. They're going to keep coming. They're going to continue to follow you all of your life. That proof, God's proof. Learn how to trust that if he's done something for you before, and he's come to rescue you before, if he's answered your prayers before, trust that and use that proof to trust in another plan, to trust in another process, for God to give you more proof of just who he is and what he will do. So look, I want to leave you with a verse. I want to leave you with a verse. Hebrews 11, verse 1. Hebrews 11, verse 1. This particular version that I'm reading says, "Now faith is confidence, what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see." There are going to be ways that God will answer you that you do not see. Having faith, having confidence, being assured, it comes with learning to trust in God. That I might not know exactly how he's going to do it. He might not do it the way that I picture him doing it. I know he's going to do it because I trust his plan. I trust his process. I trust his proof. That's it, man. Look, y'all get dismissed. Somebody wrap this up. Who's going to pray? Find out who's going to pray. Make somebody pray. Or don't make somebody. Somebody's going to volunteer. I know somebody's going to carry the team. Get some prayer in. Y'all, can you pray for me for Traveling Grace and Mercy? I got a 6-hour drive. Pray for me. Traveling Grace and Mercy. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening up. Don't be hard-headed. Don't be stubborn. If God asks you to do things, a lot of times it's very simple. Trust his plan. Trust his process. Trust the proof. Y'all be blessed, man. I love you.